Hello everyone and welcome, my name's Ali and today I've got some grind gameplay for you guys, but I'm playing Search and Destroy, which is different because I don't think I've actually brought any Search and Destroy gameplay to my channel for the last year or so, maybe even 2 years, but there's a sort of mercenary mosh pit or a random game mode mosh pit within the new Revolution playlist, and it put me into a Search and Destroy game, so I thought I'd give it a go. Did pretty well, so I thought I'd share it with you guys, give you my thoughts on this map a little bit more, and the Peacekeeper as well, because I was using the Peacekeeper. Apart from the first round, I was using a Peacekeeper for the whole thing. Don't worry, this won't replace my live Swarm series on the new maps. I'll be doing that separately as well. But I start off with a nice kill with a C4 and a sniper rifle. I'm just going to transition to the next round every time to make it a little bit quicker for you guys, because Search and Destroy can take a long time. As you can see here, I've got my score streak set up for the live Swarm series. I was hoping I'd be putting a kill confirmed game. That's why I had those streaks on. A few fans recognised me as soon as I jumped in the game, which is cool. But the Peacekeeper, I think, this is how I break it down in an overall term, in terms of what it does and what it's good at. As a submachine gun, it's got good mobility and good hipfire spread. Those are the attributes it takes over from the sort of submachine gun category. But in terms of damage and recoil, it's very much an ACR. So it's split very much down the middle in terms of the two categories, and I like to use it a bit too much as a long range weapon, I think. I forget that it's a submachine gun, and I end up trying to shoot enemies that are much too far away really for the actual range of this gun. And I'm still working on my favourite attachments, unlocking all of the attachments and trying to work out which would be my favourite setup. And of course I'll do a best class setup episode for the Peacekeeper as well for you guys, so you guys can share the class setup that I'm using and be as successful as possible with this gun. Now I think I'm the last person left here, and I wanted to sort of stick near the middle of the map so that I could get to either A or B fairly quickly, and basically just listen out and hear the enemies and then work my way from there. But this map is really cool, as I've said before, as you've probably heard in a lot of the trailers I covered before launch. All of the edges are round, or lots of round edges. It's not very good for camping, because there isn't really anywhere to camp. There's a few line of sights which are, you know, a bit overpowered. I think it's very hard if you're playing domination. There's, I believe the A flag is where I am at the moment, and the C flag's on the opposite side of the map. But the opposite side of the map basically is really hard to get out of sometimes, especially if the team that's dominating the centre point of the map is looking into the room at the back. And, you know, there are some points in this map which are hard to escape if there's lots of enemies tracking you through the middle. And here I was working out whether I should bait out the enemy or just try and defuse it, and I then realised that I just wouldn't have enough time for anything, and I ended up dying either way, which is unfortunate. But moving on to the next round here, I like to take a route around the edge. I think sticking towards the middle of a map in any game mode or any map is never really a good idea unless you're confident that you can rush in there, you know where some of the enemies are, and you can actually clear out the room successfully. So I was stuck to the edge here, and this little part up here, I don't think many people realise you can climb up here, so I surprised him for sure. He didn't realise I was coming, and I then work out there's a guy at the end there, and this is where I sort of use it as an assault rifle, and that's why I really like a red dot sight in it. And normally I would never use a red dot sight on any submachine gun. Maybe the Vector, maybe. But apart from that, none of, and maybe the Chicom, I guess, if you like that kind of thing. But it has really good iron sights anyway. But the red dot sight on this gun works really well. Perhaps it makes me turn it into an assault rifle a bit too much, which isn't really a good idea. As you can see here, trying to pick off an enemy miles and miles away just doesn't work at all, unfortunately. But I do like it as a gun. If you guys are wondering whether or not you should pick up the map pack just for this gun, I don't know. I don't think you should pick it up just for this gun. I should tell you guys that all of the multiplayer maps are fantastic. I think this is the first time I've ever played multiplayer maps from a DLC drop and actually enjoyed all of them. Like, seriously, there's not one of them that I dislike, and they've all been really well designed by Treyarch, which is awesome. And if you're into zombies, then Die Rise is just an awesome bonus, as well as Turned as well. Turned is probably one of those things you'll probably play in private matches with your friends, have a bit more fun than if you just went into a random game. You probably get bored of it if you played it. Pardon me, if you played it randomly just against a few people, but it's definitely good fun with friends. Now here I've picked up the bomb, and I'm trying to work my way towards a point where I can successfully plant and have enough time and enough positioning to cover myself. And what I like to do when I'm planting in Search and Destroy is think about where I'm planting, work out where I can get a good line of sight of a positioning I've planted the bomb, so that I can then cover it from a further distance, like quite far away distance, so the enemy will approach the bomb, have no idea where I am, but I can see exactly what's happening. So I chose this side of the bomb, I crouched when I planted it just to make my body as less visible as possible, and then I worked out that the best place to be wouldn't be by that car it could blow up, was just here. So if they decide to come from the frontal point, I can just look at them and shoot them, but if they come from behind, then I can just hear them defusing and I can get rid of them really quickly. I realised I then actually had a C4 left, and I was like, well, why don't I just put this C4 on the bomb, and then when I see anyone or hear anyone, I can just double tap the square, or double tap the X button, I believe it is on the Xbox, and just explode it nice and quickly and get rid of the enemies. So very much a tactical manoeuvre here. And what I didn't realise when I ended up, you'll see, I won't say what happens quite yet, but I see a guy with a riot shield, I managed to destroy him. I think there's still one other person left on the map, but he doesn't make any attempt at trying to defuse the bomb. But once the bomb actually explodes here, which you'll see in a few seconds, I get 300 points, which is huge, so it put me really close towards my next score streak, which was awesome, which meant I'd at least be able to hopefully get a VSAT within this round, which would then just show where all the enemies are, and in Search and Destroy, if you can see where all the enemies are for VSAT, it's basically game over. But I do enjoy playing Search and Destroy. You guys said you wanted to see a little bit more, and when I got this gameplay I thought, why not? I'll just do a normal commentary over it, which I don't do for a lot of my gameplays, but I'll do a normal commentary over it for you guys and see what you think of it. But as I said, I'll also be doing my live Swarm series and all the other maps as well, hopefully coming today or tomorrow in the very, very near future at least anyway, because I'm really enjoying that. And a longer Die Rise playthrough, I actually play through and get to a really good round, have a good strategy involved, and I get the VSAT there, I realise there's someone camping up there, and the C4 is just a beast for getting rid of people with riot shields that are just trolling around, because it just blows them up instantly, and can't recommend the C4 enough. But there you go guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, a different commentary, a normal commentary over Search and Destroy gameplay and grind. Let me know what you think of the map pack if you have it. If you don't have it, you're on PC and PS3. We'll be coming out sort of the end of February. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you haven't seen any of the other videos on my channel, because there's been about 10 plus, maybe even 15 videos of the past day, make sure you're checking them out and going through them one by one. I'm sure you'll enjoy all of them. But thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you on one of my future videos.